Which preliminary stages of the Geula did the Rebbe say already occurred?
In other words, the question is, in addition to the Rebbe saying the words, quoting the Medrash, "Anov Megiz Mangul Aschem," the time of redemption has arrived, and that basically means and implies that very soon we're going out of Golus completely. Hine Zeba. In addition to that, the Rebbe pointed out that in some ways the process of Geula has already begun, and we see aspects of Geula that are unfolding in front of our eyes. So you're asking which ones? I'll point out a few that are found in the Sichos. One of them is in the Sich of Parshas Mishpatim Tavshin Beis. The Rebbe talks about the Kitzur Chabeisam Li'itim. One of the prophecies regarding Geula is that when Mashiach will come, the nations of the world will get together and they will unite in turning swords into plowshares. In other words, the opposite of the way history was for thousands of years, that the nations fought with each other and it was just the very normal thing to do. Whoever is stronger conquers the other. There'll come a time when Mashiach comes that the nations, they'll put down their swords, there'll no longer be wars, and actually they'll turn their swords into plowshares. At that time, there was a historic meeting that took place between the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Russia. And this was when the changes in Russia took place, when communism fell and it became democratic. And they met, and together with a few other nations, and there was an event in the United Nations where they came out with a declaration to the world that we're entering a new era, an era of peace, that nations should no longer use weapons against each other. Not only that, but to get rid of and destroy nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction. And all the issues between one country and another country should be resolved through peaceful negotiations. And the Rebbe said this was not just an ordinary political change, but this was, in essence, what we are witnessing is the fulfillment of a prophecy where it says swords will be turned into plowshares, which means there will no longer be the weapons, manufacturing weapons. They'll get rid of those weapons, and all the millions and millions of dollars that are spent on weapons will be spent instead to enhance and improve the economic situation of the country. This is mamish, the inyan of taking swords and turning them into plowshares, that the money that was used for swords will now be used for enhancing the economic situation of the country. And not only that, the Rebbe added that who will be the one that will influence the nations of the world? It says in the prophecy, it'll be Melech HaMashiach. So we're already seeing the fulfillment of that Mashiach is already influencing the nations of the world. That's one thing. Another example is the inyan of Nevuah, prophecy. In the Sich of Shoftim, Tavshin Nun Aleph, which is 1991, the Rebbe spoke about one of the things it says in reference to Mashiach is that then prophecy will be returned to the Jewish people. And the Rebbe pointed out that we're already witnessing that. In fact, these words and this message of Hine Zeba, Higiz Mangul Aschem, the time of your redemption has arrived, and the coming of Mashiach is imminent, is being pronounced as a prophecy. So the Rebbe said we're already witnessing the return of prophecy to the Jewish people. There was a Seicha Vayakel Tavshin Nun Beis, where the Rebbe said that one of the things that are going to happen, one of the prophecies about the times of Mashiach is Kibbutz Goliath, that Jews from all over the world will come to Eretz Yisrael. And the Rebbe says we're now witnessing a phenomena that hundreds and thousands of Jews are leaving Russia and they're going to Eretz Yisrael, something which was not possible before. Again, this is not just a wonderful thing, a beautiful thing, a nice thing. We're actually witnessing the beginning of the fulfillment of Kibbutz Goliath, that Jews who are spread all over the world will come and gather together to live in Eretz Yisrael. And another thing is the prophecy, Ki meitzeischa meretz Mitzrayim arenu neflois. There's a pasuk in the prophet book of Navi, Micha, where it says that just like you saw wonders when the Jews went out of Egypt, you'll see wonders when the Jews will go out of this galus. And the Rebbe pointed out to the amazing things that were happening. Number one, at that time, the war with Iraq, the Persian Gulf War, where the Rebbe pointed out how we saw outright miracles, incredible miracles, that Saddam Hussein, number one, never used chemical warheads. Number two, he had used missiles, and missiles were landed in Eretz Yisrael. 39 missiles hit the land of Israel, and not one single person was killed from these missiles. And whatever happened in that time, the Rebbe said this is part of the fulfillment of these miracles that it says, Ki meitzeischa meretz Mitzrayim arenu neflois. The fact that Jews who for 70 years were held sort of in exile in Russia, and Judaism was banned and they couldn't practice Judaism in an open way. Russia was the Iron Curtain. Who would have dreamed, who would have thought that there'll come a time that Russia will open up, Jews could leave and come and go, and you can practice Judaism just like in any other free country. And that itself is also fulfillment of the miracles of Ki meitzeischa meretz Mitzrayim arenu neflois. These are some of the examples.